We're going to do something a little different today. We're taking a song, an ancient one, Psalm 30, and turning it into a story you can actually see. This isn't just about reading words, it's about watching a rescue mission unfold, scene by powerful scene.
So, what does a song actually look like? I mean, really think about it. If you could take poetry and project it onto a screen, what would it show? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to walk through this psalm verse by verse and paint a picture for each line, a picture so clear you won't be able to forget it.
Okay, so our story kicks off in a really cool way, right after the big action scene. The main character has just been pulled from the brink of disaster. The dust is still settling, their heart is still pounding, and we're about to hear the very first words they speak. The relief is just huge.
So, verse 1. And let me tell you, this is not some quiet, gentle thank you. No way, this is a shout from the rooftops. It's that raw, breathless feeling of, I can't believe I'm alive. The psalmist is basically yelling, you rescued me, you lifted me up, and all my enemies who were waiting for me to fail, they got to watch the whole thing. It's a total celebration of a super close call.
Okay, so how do we see this? Picture this. A man is hanging off the edge of a crumbling cliff. His fingers are slipping, rocks are skittering down into the abyss, and down below you can see the faces of his enemies, just looking up, waiting, almost smiling. And then, bam! Out of nowhere, some unseen force just yanks him backward onto solid ground. That jolt, that shocking sense of safety, that's verse 1.
All right, verse 2. The story hits rewind for a second. It's like a quick flashback to show us why he was in trouble. It wasn't just a cliff, it was some kind of sickness, a really deep pain. And the connection is so simple, so direct. I screamed for help, and you healed me. That's it. No delay, no waiting period. Just an immediate, total fix.
So the visual for this, it's intense. Imagine a tight close-up on someone's face, just creased with agony and the lines of sickness. It's pale, it's drawn. Then, it's almost like you see an invisible hand just wipe across their face, and instantly all those lines smooth out. The color floods back into their cheeks. It's not a slow healing process, it's a blink-and-you-miss-it miracle.
Now in verse 3, the camera kind of pulls back to show us the whole picture, and you realize, whoa, this wasn't just about being sick or falling off a cliff. The singer felt like they were already dead. They were on their way to the grave, to what's called the pit. So this wasn't just a rescue from trouble, it was a rescue from death itself. The stakes were as high as they get.
And the visual for this one, it's so powerful. You're looking down into this deep, black, empty hole. You can't see the bottom. That's the pit. And all of a sudden, this incredibly strong hand just plunges down into the darkness, grabs a hold of an arm, and just pulls. It pulls this person up out of the shadows and into this brilliant, almost blinding light. That contrast from total darkness to overwhelming light, that's the whole story right there.
Okay, when you go through something like that, you don't just walk away unchanged, right? You learn something deep. You come away with this core truth, a rule of thumb for how life works. And that's what the next part of the song is all about, sharing that lesson with anyone and everyone.
So in verse 4, the singer basically turns and looks right at us, the audience. He's saying, hey, all of you who get this, who've seen this kind of thing happen, you need to join in. Don't just stand there and watch. This isn't just my song anymore, it's our song. He's turning his personal story into a huge community-wide party.
Let's pull the camera way back for this one, a big wide shot. You see a whole crowd of people, all different ages, all different backgrounds. And here's the cool part. They're not looking at a performer. Every single one of them has their face tilted up and they're all singing together. You can just feel the unity, this wave of shared joy for a rescue that they all get on a deep level.
And now we get to verse 5. And honestly, this is the absolute core of the whole psalm. This is the big takeaway. It sets up this incredible contrast. It says, look, things like anger and sadness, they feel huge, but they're temporary. They only last for a moment, for a night. But God's favor and the joy that comes with it, that's for a lifetime. It's like the sun coming up in the morning. It's a promise. The visual is perfect. You see a dark, rainy window at night, and then boom, the same window, but now sunlight is just pouring in.
So, we've seen the incredible rescue, we've heard the big life lesson, but hang on, how did our guy end up on that cliff, or in that pit, to begin with? Well, the story takes another twist here. We're about to flash back again, this time to see the mistake, the moment of pride that caused the whole mess.
Verses 6 and 7 lay it all out.
It turns out, when things were going great, when life was easy, the singer got a little too comfortable. He thought, I'm good, I'm solid as a rock, nothing can touch me. He started thinking that his success was because of him, not because of God's favor. And the second that favor was gone, the moment God, as it says, hid his face, his whole world just crumbled. All that security, poof, gone.
To picture this, imagine a guy standing on top of a massive mountain peak, arms crossed, feeling so proud. He's on top of the world, literally. Then, without any warning, the entire mountain just dissolves into fog. One second he's on solid rock, the next he's standing on thin air, with nothing below him, just terror. That's what it feels like when the foundation you trusted completely disappears.
So, what do you do then? You're in free fall, the ground is gone. What comes out of your mouth? That question right there, it takes us to the most raw, desperate part of this whole story.
This next part, this is the prayer you pray when you've hit rock bottom. There's nothing pretty about it, it's not fancy, it's just the raw sound of someone who has absolutely nothing left, making one last desperate plea.
And here's that prayer in verses 8 to 10. It's fascinating because it's almost like a negotiation. He's saying, look, what good am I to you if I'm dead? Dust can't sing your praises, can it? So if you rescue me, my whole life will be about thanking you. Just be my helper. It's so raw and honest. It's a desperate but kind of logical argument from a guy with his back against the wall.
The visual here is just suffocating. Imagine we're at the very bottom of that dark pit from before. The air is cold and damp. The walls feel like they're closing in. You look up and all you can see is this tiny pinprick of light so far away. And the only sound is your own voice echoing around you as you plead for help. It's the perfect picture of being completely alone and totally helpless. Okay, here we go. This is the climax. We saw the fall, we heard the desperate prayer from the pit, and now we get the answer. This is the turning point, the moment where everything flips from darkness to light, from tears to triumph.
Verse 11. Wow, this might be one of the most incredible lines of transformation ever written. It sums up the whole journey in just a few words. Notice it doesn't say he stopped mourning, it says his mourning was turned into dancing. And the sackcloth, that old symbol of deep grief, wasn't just removed, it was replaced with clothes of pure joy. It's a total upgrade.
So let's watch this happen. Step 1. You see these heavy, gray, scratchy clothes, the sackcloth, just start to unravel and fall right off his shoulders, collapsing in a heap on the floor. And then, step 2, before the old cloth even settles, this new garment made of brilliant, shining colors just materializes and wraps around him, and it's practically glowing with light and warmth. It is a complete visual makeover from grief to gladness.
And that brings us to the final verse, verse 12. This one answers the biggest question, why? Why go through all this? Why the rescue? The answer is right there, so that my glory may sing praise to you and not be silent. See, the rescue wasn't just about staying alive. It was about giving him a new song to sing, one that would never stop. He ends with this simple, powerful promise. I will give thanks to you forever. And there you have it. What a journey, right? From a crumbling cliff edge down to the bottom of a dark pit and all the way back up to a place of joyous dancing. It's a story about what it feels like to fall apart and what it feels like to be put back together again. And so, the question it leaves for all of us is pretty simple. What's a moment of rescue in your own life, big or small, that you know you will never, ever forget?